Soft rain on the window, city lights glowing low. Turn the dial to KCC and let the melodies flow. A deep bass hum whispers in the air. Every note a memory, every rhythm a prayer. We ride the quiet storm through midnight skies, where the soul still speaks and love never dies. KC sends heartbeat, a groove so tight. In the echoes of the night, we take flight. From the legends who paved the way to new voices lighting the day. It's a symphony of dreams, a sound so divine. On the waves of Honolulu, the spirit aligns. Let the horns cry out, let the keys drift slow. Lost in the music where emotions grow. Every shade of blue, every touch of gold. A soundtrack of stories never growing old. So let it play, let it heal, let it move. This is Quiet Storm FM, locked in the groove. Soul runs deep, hearts intertwined. On KCC and HD3, the stars still shine. From the legends who paved the way to new voices lighting the day. It's a symphony of dreams, a sound so divine. On the waves of Honolulu, we take flight. From the legends who paved the way to new voices lighting the day. It's a symphony of dreams, a sound so divine. On the waves of Honolulu, those break flight. Let the horns cry out, let the keys drift slow. Lost in the music where emotions grow. Every shade of blue, every touch of gold. A soundtrack of stories never growing old. So let it play, let it heal, let it move. This is Quiet Storm FM, locked in the groove. Soul runs deep, hearts intertwined. On KCC and HD3, the stars still shine.
And thank you so very much for tuning in to Quiet Storm FM. Good evening to you. I'm yours truly, Tony Smooth Jams, on this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Monday, May 26, 2025. Hope that the weather is great in your area. Right now in Hawaii, it's 84 degrees and sunny. I want to say hello and welcome to everyone in the chat. We thank you so very much for being part of the Stormtroopers. Thank you so very much, Charles. We appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for your service. General Hopkins, thank you so very much. We appreciate you so much. Devonna Hollowell, we thank you so very much. If you would, please take the time now to rep your city. I know I had you do it earlier, but do it now. If you'd like to give a shout out to someone, I'm going to give you the chance to shout somebody out right now, and I'll call their name out. If it's a happy birthday, anniversary, let's take the time to do that so I can show appreciation to the fans that listen to us. And do that, okay? In New Jersey right now, it's currently 73 degrees and sunny in New Jersey right now. If you give me the weather around your area, I'll do that for you. Yeah. Rachel Haynes, tuning in from Ponca City, Oklahoma. Yes. Today, our subject is going to be about the lawsuit. Yes, we're going to talk about the lawsuit today. There have been some changes made to the lawsuit, so we want to make those changes aware. We are going to bring the documents up so that you can see the documents on camera of exactly what is filed, so there'd be no hearsay, because we like to present facts. In Westchester County is 73 and sunny. Catty Cowgirl, thank you. Bay Area, California. Pensacola, Florida is in the house. Shay, welcome to the show, Shay. It is currently 72 in Philadelphia. 72 in Philadelphia. Let's go, people. Take your time. Shout the city out. Give me the weather, and I'll call it out for you. If it's anybody's birthday, the month of May. My birthday was on the 13th. I want to say happy birthday to you. Hope that you'll have a long and prosperous life. And may the good master bless you real good. So this is the time to get a free shout out. If it's for your business, if it's for your book, whatever it is. We got 3 minutes to do that. So now's your time to get a free shameless plug. It's raining in the UK right now. Raining in the UK. Mia Glitterati says, hello, Mr. Tony. Millie from Harlem. Wishing you a productive show tonight. Thank you so very much. Carlos Johnson, thank you and welcome in from Jackson, Mississippi. It is a warm 87 degrees in Biloxi, Mississippi. Bam 200 is in the house. Thank you, Bam 200. We appreciate you so very much. $75 degrees in South Carolina. Which part of South Carolina are you in, Rochelle Wider, excuse me. Thank you very much for the super sticker, Charles. We appreciate you so very much. And I want to thank to the others of you, if you'd like to show your support to the channel, you could do that by Cash App and super stickers. However it goes, we appreciate you so very, 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 very much. Protected by God, raining in the eastern part of North Carolina. That would be Wilmington and Wilmington, Whitesville. Yeah, all of that area there. Millionaire's Coach, a good evening, Chad. So glad you're here. We are. We really appreciate you. I want to say thank you to the mods, the elements. I could not do this without you. I thank you so very much. Louise, we thank you so very much. Currently, right now, 68 degrees in Delaware, Ohio. Gloria says, shout out to all veterans. Thank you for your service. Billy Phil, 714 from Durham, North Carolina. Welcome, Durham in the house. 2 more minutes for shout outs. We have 2 more minutes for shout outs. Times gives a shout out to Agape Marriage and Family Counseling LLC. Again, that's Agape Marriage and Family Counseling LLC. Welcome to the show and hope your business is doing well. If you're in the area of Agape Family and Counseling, give them a call. I don't know what the number is, but I'm sure you can look that up. Agape Marriage and Family Counseling LLC. Shameless plug time. If you got a business you want to shout out, put it up here. We got to do that for you. Sharon Pulliam, thank you so very much for the donation. And she's in Chi-Town in the house. Thank you, Quiet Storm and Vet. Shout out to my television show and podcast, Times of Inspiration. And yes, Sharon, I did get your email, and we will be happy to be part of whatever you like to do. Thank you so very much for that. And we appreciate you. Again, that's Time of Inspiration podcast. You can see that. You can listen to that podcast on iHeartRadio, as well as all other mediums, to include Alexa. Barbara, it's 90 degrees in Apple Valley, California. Thank you, Barbara. We appreciate you so very much. And just the best, Ahmad says, help us grow. Share the Quiet Storm FM YouTube channel. You can Cash App us or Apple Pay to 808-457-8133. Again, that's 808-457-8133. And thank you so very much for tuning into the broadcast. We're going to now get into it. Today, there's been an update to the lawsuit that has been filed against Leethel, Elite Transportation, and now the trucking company. We're going to give you the update on that and provide the paperwork to let you see exactly what's happening with this lawsuit and the direction that is starting to take place. Marilyn Burrows, thank you so very much. Where are you from, Marilyn? Burrows is my surname also. So let's get into this lawsuit with Leethel Carter. Let me make some changes here to the screen so that I can bring this info up. First of all, let me add it to the... Give me a second. Be patient with me. bringing up the lawsuit. So we'll have it here. Okay. We have that up now. Here we go. So, family, how do you like the music that we're playing? Does it resonate from you? Are your family's from Alabama? Okay. Okay, so let me add this to the screen here and make this up. Okay, so what I'm putting up here for you now is the information on the lawsuit that has been extended. I'm going to say extended. Yeah, okay. So let's get into it here. All right. So what we have here is the lawsuit. And you can see the defendant's CSRT expedited incorporated motion to dismiss. So CSRT has now filed a motion to dismiss from the case because they were added in to the lawsuit. Yes, they were added in to the lawsuit. And being added into the lawsuit, they want it clear that they should be removed. Now, I'll say to you why they want it removed. And let's get into that. It reads, comes now the defendant, CSRT Expedited Incorporated, hereinafter CSRT or defendant, by and through the undersigned counsel, and hereby files this motion respectfully requesting this court enter an order dismissing the above reference action on the grounds of form non-convenience. Form non-convenience, meaning filed not filed in the right venue. Okay. In support of this motion, the defendant states as follows: plaintiffs filed the lawsuit in the state court of Fulton County, Georgia. The first amended complaint attached as Exhibit A. 2. Leethel Carter, Joseph Robinson, Executive Elite Transportation, and CSRT are the named defendants in the present case. The plaintiffs allege that on or about March 1st, the defendant Carter was driving a 2021 Sprinter van, and in which the plaintiffs were passengers. While traveling on Interstate 65 in Montgomery County, Alabama, plaintiffs allege that the defendant Carter lost control of the Mercedes, causing it to roll onto its side and come to a rest in the travel lane. See Alabama Uniform Traffic Crash Report attached. The plaintiffs further allege that after the Mercedes rolled over, a CSRT tractor trailer, hereinafter tractor trailer, operated by Jared Wilkerson, struck the Mercedes. The subsequent collision was investigated by Officer David S. Rogers of the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, along with multiple other law enforcement and emergency medical personnel from Montgomery, Alabama. The following collision, the plaintiffs were allegedly treated at Baptist Medical Center in South Montgomery, Alabama. The plaintiffs were treated at Baptist Medical Center in Montgomery, Alabama. The Mercedes and the tractor trailer was towed from the scene of the collision to Siemens Wrecker Service in Montgomery, Alabama. The argument: under the doctrine of forum nonconvenience, a court shall dismiss a claim or action if it finds that the interests of justice for the convenience of the parties and witnesses, a claim or action would more properly heard in forum outside of this state. The court, in determining whether to grant a motion to dismiss on forum nonconvenience grounds, must find an adequate alternative forum exists. The dismissal serves the interests of justice and the convenience of the parties and the witnesses, as guided by 7 factors articulated. The claim or action is more properly heard in the forum outside of the state. I won't read the case citations to back it up. Adequate alternative forum. In determining whether to transfer or dismiss an action in the forum nonconvenience grounds, the threshold issue is an analysis in whether an adequate alternative forum exists. So let me explain to you what that is. Give me 1 second here. Give me a second to bring that in, and we get into this. Okay. Boom. Go back here. I have to set this up so we make sure we're good to go. All right. There we are. There. All right. And what's that? So let's break this down. So people, what they're saying in this motion is that the twins and Ashton them did not file this in the correct jurisdiction. Instead of filing this in the courts of Alabama, they filed it in the courts of Georgia. Now, I can see the variance as to why that would have happened, and this is why. Let me break it down. The start of the tour began in Georgia and ended up in Alabama. But the tractor trailer did not hit the Mercedes van in Georgia. It hit the van in Alabama. Thus, if you're going to attach CSRT to this lawsuit, you're going to have to file it in the courts that have jurisdiction over the action that took place at the scene, which is Georgia. Now, I'm going to say to you, to the stormtroopers, that it is my opinion, my personal opinion, allegedly, that this is an action that Leethel Carter does not want to take place. Because as I produced the documents, I showed you where Executive Elite Transportation did not have any authorization whatsoever to do any commercial business with that van. In other words, it was not allowed, not authorized by the United States Department of Transportation to move that vehicle out of the city of Atlanta for hire. That being said, the reason it is not authorized yet active is because it did not have the proper insurance. That's right, the proper insurance to authorize such vehicles with passengers. Personal use, whatever use. If you're traveling with people in that vehicle and you take 1 penny you must have $5 million worth of insurance coverage. Now, to establish the hiring of the vehicle, County Shell hired Leethel Carter at Executive Elite Transportation to transport Angie Stone. There is no argument about that. It's plain as day. It is plain as day. So, technically speaking, the lawsuit should have been filed, in my personal opinion, allegedly, in Montgomery County. Now, we have presented to you the insurance company. Matter of fact, let's do this again, okay? We presented the insurance company telling you that the policy had Leethel Carter as indemnified, and it was a personal policy. Again, it was a personal policy, not a commercial policy. Now, the factor is that they're suing Leethel Carter, and they're suing in his individual capacity, and they're suing Executive Elite Transportations in its official capacity, and CSRT in its official capacity. But it did not list Jared Wilkins in his individual capacity. Okay, that's a red flag for me. Why did you not list Jared Wilkinson in his individual capacity? Why is that not? This is no cap, because I just presented the lawsuit to you on the screen. So we're talking facts, black and white. Why did that not happen? Why didn't it happen? And you're suing Jared, you're suing CSRT for personal injury. But you personally did not succumb personal injuries from the tractor trailer. Your injuries were from the Mercedes van. Make that make sense. But in my purview, this lawsuit was filed so fast that it could not have taken on the correct legs to walk on, because it was too early. It was way too early. Yes, flag on the play. It was way too early to file it. That's my belief. It was way too early. Now, let's look at this. Did anyone do any further research to find out the establishment of the tag information for the van and find out who was the person that actually acquired the tags and the insurance for the Mercedes Sprinter? I don't think so. I think greed prohibited someone from thinking properly to follow that information up. See, because if you had done due diligence in that era, you would have found that the owner, the said owner on paper of that corporation or that business entity, has been incarcerated since 2023. And currently, to this point, he's still incarcerated. So, is this action another greed attempt at Leethel Carter, making it look like that he has the authority to do something when in fact he was just showing off as if he has fame to represent artists and trying to show the world that he's someone bigger than what he really is. Well, he is big. Let me correct that. But not for music and entertainment. He's a notorious criminal. A rug trafficker. A convicted trafficker. Convictions of violence. A womanizer. A violent woman abuser. So I'm not understanding as to why someone didn't do a proper search to find out who, in fact, you are suing. The other factor to this insurance claim is that there's no presentation of the black box, properly known as the IRD box of the Mercedes, to show that there were no mechanical issues with the Mercedes at all. There were none. The box didn't show that there were any. But what it does represent is that someone either callously was driving on the road or intentionally caused an accident. My personal belief is that that was an intentional accident. And you did not expect anyone to die. But it happened. And that, my friend, was a major mistake. That, my friend, was callousness. And if the sheriff's department in Alabama and if the highway patrol would have properly checked your credentials on the crime scene, they would have known that you had no authorization to move that vehicle and you would have been arrested. But they didn't. They were very negligent in not doing so. They didn't even check to see what your NCIC report was at the scene of the accident. They had reprieve by doing it at the hospital if they would have done so, but they didn't do so. They just looked at your driver's license, say okay, and let it go. Didn't run it, didn't do any of that. Why not? Why not? Why didn't that happen? I hold the state of Georgia just as responsible for Angie Stone's passing, just as much as the state of Alabama, just as clear as much as Leethel Carter. Let me break that down. You, the state of Georgia, if you would have properly done your job monitoring this person on probation for trafficking, you would have known his whereabouts. But because he's on non-supervised probation, you allow him to do whatever he wants to do. He violated the conditions of the probation by even driving an unauthorized vehicle and by not having the proper credentials that it should have had to do it. That is a violation of probation. That's unacceptable, Georgia. Georgia, you are one of the states that took one of your own judges, a black judge, to jail because she was hysterical and did not produce her ID at the scene of a complaint. She was asked to present her ID and she didn't. So what did they do? After over and over about a 2-hour time period, asking her to please present the ID. They even told her at the city jail, if you just show us your ID, we can get you processed and get you out of here. But she still didn't do it at the jail, at the city jail. So what happened? They had to take her to the county jail to do what? To identify her with her fingerprint. And at that time, they found out she was a judge. Ma'am, why didn't you just tell us? What was the reason for not telling us? But she was so hysterical and so ignorant in her actions that she had to be taken to be identified. This is what it is. This is what it is. Now, you're going to tell me that if you identified the judge, you could not identify Leethel Carter, and you would let this man be convicted as a first-time felon, when in fact, he should have been given a life sentence or whatever sentence that you give. You have the audacity to vigorously go after people, to include the President of the United States. And you didn't go after Leethel Carter? So that would lead one in a common sense zone to believe that you're covering up for him. You must be, because there is proof. And let me say this. These were black officers on another black female judge. So it wasn't about color. But at the same time, they identified who she was. So what gives, Georgia? What gives, Alabama? What gives? Whom are you protecting? And why are you protecting? You want us to succumb to the knowledge of everything is good, when in fact it's not. If you would have done your job, Alabama, if you would have done your job, excuse me, not Alabama, Georgia, if you would have done your job, do you think Angie would be alive right now? I wonder. Is this the case? Right, let's put it there. point blank. Is he a confidential informant, allegedly? Is that the case? I need to understand this. Is that the case? Is it the case? Stay tuned. I'll be right back in a second. And you're listening to Quiet Storm FM. I'm your host, Tony Smooth Jams, here on this station. Don't forget you can listen to us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all around the world, simply by going to iHeartRadio. Put in live radio stations, and then you can put in Quiet Storm FM. It'll pop right up, and you can enjoy it in your car, at home, on your TV, on your radio, wherever, all around the world. Quiet Storm FM. You can also visit us on our website at www.quietstormfm.org. Again, that's www.quietstormfm.org. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We invite you to become part of the Quiet Storm family on our website. When you go there, please become a member. We would appreciate you so very much. It doesn't cost you a dime. We just want to know who's there and show you appreciation for you being part of what we do. Yep, so become a member, and there's some things special that we're going to do for you. And also, I want to say to you at this point, if you become a member of this channel and you have a business or someone close to you that has a business, we will allow you as a member to promote that business on this channel the few minutes that we take before we start talking or doing our commentary, and shout them out. Or if it's a birthday shout out, those are privileges you get from becoming a member at any level. Doesn't matter. At any level, become a member, and we want to do that. Also, don't forget, whatever you hear me say on YouTube is also broadcasted on radio, on iHeart, and on our FM station in Hawaii live. So you're not just being heard on YouTube, you're being heard all around the world. So, Sheila Hopkins and Dante Daly gave me testimony or statement. And Sheila gave her account to what happened. It made it plain and clear that she was the last person to be taken out of the vehicle. Leethel said Angie Stone was standing outside of the vehicle. Pillsbury said that she helped someone Why is Pillsbury? Why is Courtney not named in any of these lawsuits? Why is Pillsbury not even attached to any of the police reports? Courtney, from the diagram of the highway department, of what I can see, you may have caused that accident. You, yes, you. Because your vehicle was parked on the right shoulder. And that truck wanted to make sure he didn't hit you. And did not see, in the midst of darkness, that van turned over. Because as it was turned over, and the undercarriage facing the vehicle, there was no lights that it could see. So I believe wholeheartedly, you are the reason Angie Stone is not with us today. I won't take that back. And then why, ma'am, are you not charged for leaving the scene of an accident as a witness? You said you called 911. Okay. So there's a report of you being there. Why are you not on the report? Is someone protecting you and protecting Jared Wilkerson? Because a little black lady got injured, demised in an accident? Is this about color? Is this about the state of Alabama protecting its own? Another white woman and another veteran that's white? Is this going to come down to what this really is? Why could you have the audacity to get on the World Wide Web and say the story that you gave and not even tell that story to the investigators where it's in the report? There's no mention of you in the narrative at all. Not one jot of you in the narrative. We have it. We read it. We showed it. There's no mention of you. How coincidental is it that you and Leethel Carter are from the same hometown? There's something that's not gelling here. There's something not gelling. You're from the same hometown. You leave the scene. He doesn't know what happened for 2 hours. What is it? And you're not even mentioned in the lawsuit. It would seem that you would be a vital point to testify when you're not even. They list a man that's in prison that ain't had nothing to do with nothing, nowhere around it. But they didn't list you. They didn't list you at all. How is that? Come on, help me. Anybody in chat, can you help me with that? How is it that they didn't list her? How is it that on the lawsuit? How is it that they didn't list her on the police report? Can anybody tell me what's wrong with that? Do you agree that she should have been on the report? Yes or no? Do you agree? Yes or no? You gave this sick puppy dog look, talking about for the respect of the family, I won't show the video. You even drove back to the scene to get video. Because when you left, it was dark, so you had your video in the daylight. You came back to the scene. Remember, the accident happened at 4 a.m. So if the accident happened at 4 a.m. and the call was made on 4:20, you If you made the call, you made the call at 4:20 a.m. in the zone of darkness. So 2.5 hours later, you were still, you know what? I didn't even pay attention to that. 2.5 hours later, you were still around. And what happened? You go back to the scene and you record the tractor trailer. Yes, you did. Why would you do that? So wait a minute. Hold on a second. We have a flag on the play. We clearly have a flag on the play. Let me. Hold on, let me do something here. We got a flag on the play. If you like the content that I'm giving to you, please do me a favor and get the likes up. We're at 194, and there's 461 in the chat with us right now. So please, I need you to get the likes up. We do a lot of work here, paying for documents, court documents, and everything to produce to you, to present. Those documents aren't free; they have to be paid for, so that we can have the right information. So we need you to be part of that. The way you can help us is to get those likes up. And the other side is monetarily. So that we could get in the algorithm to get this word out. You know, I'm starting to believe more and more that Pillsbury and Leethel were together. I'm starting to believe that. And I know factually that Pillsbury did speak to the family. So that did happen. So we need to, we really need to take a serious look at this. Now, being from the same city, and that city is a small one, very small city. Yes, it is. Very small city. Less than 10,000 people. I would find it hard to believe that Leethel and Pillsbury don't know each other. Then on top of that, Leethel, you go back to the scene. You and Shanna. Now, people want me to leave Shanna Shell alone. I ain't leaving Shanna Shell alone. I tried to give it grace. I did. And the more I keep going through legal paperwork, the more Shanna keeps coming up. You can't make this stuff up. You can't. You just can't make it up. So I'm supposed to keep my mouth closed, not say anything, and just overlook that. You know, she really didn't have much to do with it. No, I ain't doing that. Not only am I not doing it, my job is to present the truth. And the truth is, Shanna, I don't know if you're just as dirty as Leethel. Pillsbury, I don't know if you're just as dirty as Leethel. Leethel, we know how dirty you are, so there's no wondering to that. You are what you are, a monster. Everybody put monster in the chat. The only phrase I want to see in the chat is monster. That's it. Nothing else. Don't write nothing else. Don't say nothing else. Just put monster in the chat. I need every single person to put monster in there. Just monster. Let them see that he's a monster. Let that whole thing run for a whole while. Monster. Monster only. Hold your opinions, hold your questions, hold whatever, and only put monster in the chat, please. Just monster. Diamond says she didn't know Leethel. Believe it. I respect what she said, but I don't believe it. Thank you, chat. Leethel Carter, I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me very well, sir. I will not sleep until they put handcuffs on you. When they put those handcuffs on you, I'm going to personally go to Columbia, South Carolina, and visit Angie's grave and say, we did it, Angie. For you. That's what I'm going to do. I promise you that's what I'm going to do. The other side of this argument, the fact that Angie said she wanted her coins, the legacy of her children, the legacy of her grandchildren. And people want us to keep silent about that so that someone can surprisingly come up with the takeover of the state. I'm letting you guys know that I'm watching like a hawk over every single movement in that court for the probate. You expect me to sit back and be quiet with all the information that I have of potential fraudsters and just let it go? I gave that some long thought. And this is what I came up with. I came up with Angie saying to me, I felt in my spirit, Angie was saying to me, why would you let it go? When I got online and said, I wanted y'all to know that I'm trying to get my money. Why would you let it go when I said that the people closest to me took from me? Why would you let it go when I couldn't even trust those that I worked with? Why would you let it go? I asked for help. Please help me. Please help my family. And I laid and I turned and I tussled and I tussled and I tussled and I tussled and I pleaded with myself. What am I doing? What can I do? What should I not do? And it hit me. It hit me. I promise you, like a bolt of lightning. Don't stop. So I need you to know I'm not stopping. I will render respect, but I will not stop. Why would there be fraudulent actions to gain you don't have to do anything fraudulent to get control. Leethel, you said that any interviews you do would have to be through your lawyers, and your lawyers didn't want you to interview. Okay, cool. That's good. That's fine. I'm sure that's you bitching up and you not really wanting to do it. Dante and you split the money from Angie Stone, allegedly. You did. And maybe even Shanna got some of that. I was told that Shanna made you go back to the scene. I don't believe that. Her gonna make a person like you go back to the scene? Nah. Nah, not at all. No. No. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Leethel, every single corporation that you set up allegedly looks like it was for scamming. Leethel, you told people yourself this is what you do. And dude, you would not even acknowledge the family. I mean, me personally, I think at some point I would have walked over and said, I am so sorry for your loss. But you, sir, I believe you have a sniper's heart. Do you know what a sniper heart is? A sniper is a person that loves who he loves, but have no feelings for others. When it's time for the sniper to take a pull of the trigger, he can do it and sleep well and eat well at night with no problem, because it was just a job. See, this situation, Leethel, may have been just a job for you. You gave Dante $10,000. Dante said it himself out of his own mouth. You gave him $10,000 to his nonprofit. Okay. Was that $10,000 from one of the schemes and scams that y'all pulled off? Was it? Was it so? You and Eddie Levert Jr. wanted to look like the big star representatives, being able to transport anybody around with clout, so that you can have clout, so that you can look for new tricks to trick over. Please do not put any artist's name in my chat that I'm not talking about. I will block you if you do. I'm talking about Angie Stone. What happened, my man? What happened? I'm talking to you mano a mano, man to man. Why couldn't you face the family, man? Why couldn't you do an interview and just say, you know what, I'm sorry for the family's loss, and we support y'all? You couldn't even do that. Dante, at least in his cunning ways, laughing at the situation, said something, but you haven't said nothing. One of those reasons you haven't said anything is that you want Mercedes to believe that this is their issue, and you want to sue Mercedes-Benz. By the way, here's another factor. Dante said that you said that your lawyer was Benjamin Crump. Storm Element 1, would you please put the name of that attorney in the chat for me, please? Leethel's attorney. You don't have a heart, man. You're heartless. You're stone heartless. Stay tuned. I'll be right back in a moment. This is Quiet Storm FM. I'm your truly Tony Spool Champ, your host on this beautiful, 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 beautiful day, Thursday, May 26th, 2025. With our beautiful warm weather here. Don't forget you can listen to Quiet Storm FM 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, simply by going to iHeartRadio, put in Quiet Storm FM. You can also listen at us on Live 365, tune in, and on your Alexa device, simply by saying, Alexa, play Quiet Storm FM. Yes. And you can listen to us via our app on our website at www.quietstormfm.org. Again, that's Quietstorm, www.quietstormfm.org. And if you'd like to hear us on your phone or whatever device, Apple devices, simply go to the Apple Store and download the Apple app, Quiet Storm FM. It's there for you. The privileges of having that app is that you can actually send in a recording of what you want said, and we do shout out. So you can record your shout out and get it on the air there. And the Quiet Storm FM. And to all of you that have showed us support, I thank you so very much. We appreciate you. We need you. But the Quiet Storm FM is a 501c3 nonprofit sanctioned by the IRS under Storm Radio. You can look us up. So your donations are tax deductible to us. I'll put that up on the screen for you now. At this time, I'm going to take the opportunity to have conversation with my family. I love to have y'all come up with me. Your face will not show, so you don't have to worry about that. However, I can see your face in the background, and I will need to see your face in order to put you on the air. But your face will not come on air at all, just your voice. The chat link is on the screen, is there. I'm going to put it on the screen also for you. You can come in and talk to us live. If you have a question about this, you can. I only want to talk about what we're talking about. No other elements at all. Please respect that. This is the path that I'm taking and what I'm working on. So I would like to respect all others and stick to this, if you will, please. So come on up. Hello, Charles. Welcome to the show.
How you doing today?
Just fine, sir.
That's good. Happy Memorial Day to you.
Likewise.
Lethal. Oh man, you hit some good points. You know, your points about the Georgia government,
yes,
Alabama, and the police.
Yes.
And you know, and just my theory, and allegedly, them 2 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
That Leethel said he didn't know where he was at. I think that him and Pillsbury during that time, if she was there on that scene, because I'm connecting things the way you said she from the same state, she from same city, small city, 10,000 people.
Yeah.
You know, because you know we losing everything in this nick is them 2 hours. Them 2 hours is a main factor in this whole process.
That's exactly right. Those 2 hours are important.
Yeah. I don't want to lose. Yeah, them 2 hours.
And the fact that those 2 hours are so vital, we don't understand what happened there. And
right, because they should be accounted for.
That's correct. Now, they took the cell phones from them.
Right.
And they used forensics to check the cell phones. So I'm sure there's some other information that will come out of that, but it hasn't been released yet. So
okay,
therefore,
okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, please.
I got a question for you. Okay. I don't know if I heard that Leethel did go to the hospital. Okay, within them 2 hours, right? You said he did?
Yes.
He did?
He did.
Okay.
But he left.
But within them 2 hours, though, who took him to the hospital?
Well, personally, I don't know that. So that's why I didn't put any efforts on that, because that I don't know. And you know, I won't say unless I know. I do know they were transported to the hospital, but that's all I know. So there is so much that's left out of that situation that it's so hard to see. Now Pillsbury would possibly know because she was there. So how is it that Pillsbury talked to the family? How is it? How does she get a phone number to contact the family?
Right.
How did that happen? It couldn't have been after she posted it on the internet, because That would have been after the fact. My belief is she talked to someone in the family or a family representation, and it was an exchange of phone numbers. So they knew, they adamantly knew that Pillsbury was there. They adamantly know who she is. Okay, right. If that's the case, how come anyone hasn't made any ruckus? I would have been raising hell as to why she wasn't on the police report, and I would have been raising hell as to why nobody mentioned her. I mean, man, come on. The more I try to give grace to this situation, the more stink is starting to look. You mean tell me you're going to communicate with the family? Nobody in the family is going to tell that this woman was at the scene and she left the scene of the accident
and went ghost.
And went ghost.
I mean, completely off the radar. I mean, not off the radar, but went ghost.
Are we supposed to believe this and think that this is okay? Do y'all think that that's okay in the chat? She witnessed an accident and leave and not give a witness statement as to what happened. Huh? Did Leethel give her any of that money to go and leave? Hey, take this $1,000. Don't come back. Just go. Thank you so very much. Man, Alabama, let me ask you a question. Why was no coroner at the scene?
No shit.
I mean, you know, Alabama, I'm trying to no, hell no, I'm gonna go and say it. You put out this bogus autopsy report that's not detailed, and didn't have the audacity to have some other things going on with the state dealing with autopsies and removing of parts, because that's not allegedly, that's facts. And you're going to tell me that because you didn't show up to the scene, no representative of the coroner's department showed up at the scene, you just allowed a body to be moved without no investigation on the scene. So one, you have this bogus autopsy report, you have this bogus investigation at the scene, and no coroner to block off or anything, and the body be transported.
Right.
With this shoddy report.
So let me ask you something, Tony. So was it stated that her body was transported from the hospital to the morgue, or
from the hospital
to the morgue?
Yeah. Christopher Times, thank you for joining us on the show.
Hello, sir.
Hello, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Just fine. What's on your mind?
Well, you know, I've got some experience with investigating accidents. I used to be a part of NASA security, and they operated their own basically security police.
Okay.
And anytime that we ever did an investigation for any type of accident, however minor, number one, it took 2 hours to even work the accident.
Correct.
And number two, there's a piece on that accident form that has a complete diagram of every angle of the accident site. You have to drawing every vehicle and every individual where they were in proximity to the accident in the diagram for the report. And then that's gone over by your captain or your lieutenant or your sergeant. So that was protocol. So I can't see how people were left out of the report. I can't see how certain vehicles were not mentioned in the report. That's just gross misconduct.
Okay, so let's look at the history of Alabama's coroner's department. Okay, it is now public record and public knowledge that there is an active lawsuit against the state of Alabama for removing body parts from inmates
Mm.
And there is a current lawsuit actually active right now.
Mm.
So if they're doing that on that level, and on top of that, doing what I consider an incomplete coroner's report, what's really going on here? I mean, it does leave room for some questions to be asked here, because there was no diagram of a body. You know, usually they have a body. It's a neutral body. It could be you looked at as a male or female, and they'll show different things of the body. That they didn't do that.
Mm.
They didn't show any shrapnel or whatever entry, none of that, right? So all they can do is leave for people to wonder what really happened. You see what I'm saying? Because the report was not fully done. Right or wrong?
That's right. And honestly, anytime you've got a body, the coroner comes out. I remember when I used to live in League City 20 years ago, my neighbor died. And I witnessed how long it takes for the coroner to come out, because it took at least 2 hours for the coroner to even show up to the scene. And he died. This guy died in his home, 2 doors down from me. They blocked off the entire street. I couldn't go anywhere, and neither could any of my neighbors. And the coroner showed up, and even after the coroner arrived on the scene, it took quite a while, even after that, before they loaded the body in the coroner's vehicle and transported him. So you talk about probably 3 hours.
That's correct. So let's address that right there, since you brought that up. Whenever the coroner shows up on the scene, there's going to be a minimum of 4.5 to 6 hours of them being on the scene working it, because they have to get all kind of evidence. They have to gather all kind of evidence. Now, here, that has been presented is that whenever they would normally take the remains from the scene to the coroner's office, but it appears in this case it did not. It went from the scene to the hospital, from the hospital to the coroner's office.
But Tony, that don't sound right.
It don't sound right, but that's what happened.
And as a matter of fact, what I didn't say also is I'm a pastor, so I'm ordained here in the state of Texas. So I've got experience dealing with dead bodies. In the state of Texas, when a person dies in a hospital, they have to have a chaplain show up, either a family pastor or the chaplain of the hospital show up. That's according to the protocols here in the state of Texas.
Okay.
And that process is always followed. And what happens after that is that then we secure a not a coroner, but a funeral home. The family has to decide and what funeral home to call, and you literally have hours, not days, hours, to do all of that. And that's what the pastor's job is, or the chaplain at the hospital. That's what they do. And there are forms, by the way, that go along with that you have to fill out.
Okay.
So these things don't make sense to me. I've done all that, and it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Hey,
so
check this out, Tony.
Yeah.
You remember when you interviewed Sheila Hopkins, and she said when she came to in the van, she was the last one in the van, right? And she said the EMT told her that Angie didn't make it. Now, why would they take her to the hospital when they knew right there on the scene that she didn't make it?
Right. So exactly. And I've said this in the past, that they supposedly TOD'd her on site, right? Right. They said that she was pinned in their report. I'm going to say something that I never said before, and I'm going to just drop it like it's hot, because our common sense value to the report and our common sense value to what we're talking about leads me to this point in common sense. After the fact, I believe the state of Alabama allegedly is covering for the truck driver and covering for Leethel by this bogus report by saying accident only because they messed up the investigation, allegedly.
Makes sense.
Tony, that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yes,
that's it right there. Case solved on that point. They have the corner. Hey, man, look here. We need your help. Don't put us at any liability. Just go ahead and put accident. Leave it like it is, because there was no proper investigation, and we don't know the proper things. We have witnesses that have left the scene, and whatever. But there needs to be a federal investigation to the mishaps of carrying this investigation wrong. They didn't do it right.
No, they didn't do any of this stuff right. And you're talking about, technically, officers could be in trouble for that.
Absolutely.
You know what, Tony? In an accident like, in a proper investigation, in an accident like that, you would have been talking to them witnesses for hours.
Yes, that's correct. They would have been talking to the witnesses for hours, and they would not have let them leave the scene either.
No, not at all.
No one could leave.
No, you have a person that is deceased, and you're going to let people leave the scene of the accident, and you're going to leave the scene of the accident and investigate it at the hospital?
No.
And not at the scene. They left the scene. They were gone from the scene before daylight. Mind you, the accident happened at 4. That was reported at 4:20 a.m. Right? Daylight comes up right at just before 6 a.m. Right?
Right.
So by 6 a.m. they were gone. No investigation. How is that possible? You tell me, how is that possible that someone's body was lying on the ground and you have investigated this in less than 2 hours? And in fact, law enforcement didn't even get to a scene until an hour later.
So that means that they weren't even on the scene 30 minutes. They had to just burn up and leave.
Exactly. In a 30-minute time period, they summed up and called the accident and moved on and went to the hospital to get interviews. Are you kidding me?
And then no tickets? There should have been tickets.
Nothing.
The
driver walked away. He should be charged with vehicle homicide, point blank.
There should have been at least 2 citations.
That's correct. One for the driver of the truck, for not willfully being cognizant of what's in front of him, because he hit the vehicle where the vehicle had a disadvantage, which is rear end or side up. That's a disadvantaged vehicle. Okay. So, and on the other side of that, the reckless driving of the driver.
And technically, they both could get ticketed for reckless driving. And depending on the speed and the road conditions, the weather, all of those are variables. And by the way, whenever you do an accident investigation and you have your vision is impeded, that's a complication. That also goes up. There's a section in every police report for accidents that talk about that too. That has to be drawn out. Right. You know, even to the point of getting meteorological reports and putting it in the
complete investigation.
Now let me add some other things to factor into this here situation, right? Now this is alleged communication that I'm about to say. Don't know if it's a fact, but it looks real stink. How is it possible that Leethel Carter could have been part of a human remains transportation services? The coroner in UAB sued for the missing body parts of remains. And then Shanna Shell being attached to a cemetery and crematorium. How coincidence is this? I mean, can someone? I mean, it could be a complete absolute coincidence. However, it looks too funky to me.
But Tony, I don't believe in coincidences, and especially things that look suspicious generally are. And when you have a situation like this, let's just look at it for what it is. You have Angie Stone, who was in poor health, and you have these nefarious individuals in her orbit, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would make sense that they would be plotting,
mm-hmm.
because everybody would have something to gain. And this is a really terrible way to think, but they think this way, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, it would make sense that, hey, let's do this scenario, whether it happened post-accident or pre-accident. They were thinking more than likely, probably,
mm-hmm.
about doing something nefarious, and it went this way.
Okay,
makes a lot of sense.
And good vibes makes a very valid question. She says, why did they set up these businesses? Why did they establish those type of businesses? Auntie Mickey, you coming up, or you? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I never hit you. I'm sorry. Can you hear? Can you hear now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't have your button brought in. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thought I hit it the same time I hit the others, and I didn't. Please forgive me.
No problem. But I did want to chime in on. I agree with the panel that this was gross negligence on the part of the law enforcement in the investigation of this from the jump, from the fact that no coroner arrived to the transportation of the body. But not only that, I have questions about Pillsbury. Okay, has anyone obtained the recording of her 911 call to even verify that she called? Number one. Okay.
I put in a request for those recordings. I haven't gotten it back yet.
Okay. And do we know how long it took for her to return to the scene of the accident to record it? Because she recorded that accident from the opposite side of the freeway.
Yes.
And the accident, the debris was still there. The vehicle was still there. It had not been removed. Neither had the 18-wheeler.
Right. And so, what was her purpose for going back?
What happened to the little daughter's engagement that they were on their way to? What happened to that? All of that went away because of the accident that you left the scene. You see what I'm saying? They were on their way to some kind of 16-year-old birthday event. This is what she said on the recording on her TikTok video. Mm-hmm. What happened to that event that you were en route to for you to turn around? Well, first of all, you left the scene, and then you turn around and come back later to record the scene. What happened to the event that you were taking your daughter to? And there's no mention of Pillsbury anywhere on the police report at all?
Nope.
Nowhere?
Nowhere.
Can I be devil's advocate for?
Hold on. Just a
okay,
second.
Go ahead.
I'll forget. So even in interviewing the people on the van who she supposedly assisted someone in getting out of that van, no mention from anyone on the van that she was even there?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
When they interviewed the people that were on the van in the accident, no mention of Pillsbury to the police from anyone that was on the van?
Well, we haven't seen any statements to the police from anybody on the van, but Leethel.
So nobody even mentioned Pillsbury even being there.
Not that I can find.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to demo. Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris.
If I can say that, just from my personal experience doing accident reports, vehicle on vehicle, vehicle on wildlife, I've done those types of reports at Johnson Space Center. You have to list everybody that's been in the accident. I've done accidents with deer in a vehicle, and you have to list the deer. As a matter of fact, the game warden has to come to the scene in order to verify the death of the deer. I've done all of this. I know what it takes.
Chris, I'm glad you mentioned that, and I know that to be fact because that's how it is in South Carolina.
Yeah, I know the law. I know what it takes. I've done it for too many years. Yes.
So here, that's a very good point. If the game warden has to come out for a deer at a report before they can move that vehicle, why did the coroner not come out?
Exactly.
Investigation.
And let me go further, Tony. I've been on scenes to where the deer was removed when the game warden might take an hour or two, but the game warden will show up. And I've been involved with cases where the game warden shows up and somebody has gotten the carcass and have removed it. And the game warden's like, I'm coming back in an hour and that carcass better be here or I'm taking people to jail. And I'm here to tell you, they were like, if you cut it up, if you buried it, it better be here when I get back. I'm telling you what,
Wow.
And they always come back.
So let's look at this. Let's ask this question here. What do you think? So well, let me back up. How much time do you think it was that someone stole the money from Angie Stone's person?
It's hard to say because we don't know if it was done before everyone was transported to the hospital, or we don't know if it was done when Leethel and Shayna returned to the scene.
Because by the third day, we had already heard that everybody lawyered up. Why did they lawyer up so fast? So here's my opinion. All right, the twins didn't know Angie that well. All right. Did they conspire with Leethel to file a lawsuit? Not knowing. See, because here's the thing. I'm going to say allegedly. They knew that there was $5 million out there. Because Leethel told people that it was $5 million worth of coverage. He said, so we about to have money in a few days. No, you're dead wrong. Because we're going to make sure that money get hampered with, my friend. You're not going to get away with this. First of all, you didn't have $5 million worth of coverage for them to get from. What they didn't know is you only had a personal policy. And the most they're going to get is some medical bills paid. Now, you're gonna go after the property of a man that's in prison that can't even defend. They can't even serve him right now.
No.
So how explain that one to me?
Well, Tony, explain this. Now, nobody's even mentioned this, but who's to say that anyone in Angie's circle took the $15,000?
Well, here's the thing. Ashton has too much love for her. I don't believe he would do it. In fact, there's been many people to say that he'd be the last person.
Who's to say the police didn't take it?
Well, we don't want to throw scenarios out there like that.
But I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Well, it's actually not, because there was a witness that did see the money. And I know that. I just can't say it right now.
Okay, well, if you got a witness, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, they watched this whole thing up. they botched this whole thing up from the giddy up.
And to my knowledge, the band members did not get paid.
But somebody got that money.
Oh yeah, somebody got the money, and I think Leethel and Dante got the money.
Yeah, that's what I think. Because Dante took up for Leethel when you questioned him in the interview about that $15,000. Well, nah, we Angie kept it on herself, and he kept on with these scenarios about the money.
That's absolutely correct. That's exactly what took place right there.
Yeah, because you can tell the way he was talking that he knew about the money, definitely.
He definitely knew about the money.
Then he tried to put it on. Then he tried to shift the weight to Ashton.
Yeah, he did try to shift the weight to Ashton, which was a red flag for me right then, because I'm saying, okay, why was he trying to throw Ashton under the bus? Right? Okay, all right. So then the other side of that coin is that I asked him, was any pow-pows on the scene? He says, no, never. But meanwhile, Dante himself has a charge for carrying a concealed weapon.
From that day?
No, not from that day.
Another time.
So you are used to carrying weapons, sir. You are. So to represent different, and then you present yourself as part of the ecclesia. For those of you who don't know what the ecclesia is, Chris, tell them what I'm saying.
Security, is that what it is?
Yes.
And that's what I was going to ask. Were they posing as security, as personal security?
No, Dante posed himself as personal security.
Yep.
With Angie. Who would have hired Dante and Leethel Carter as security?
Nobody.
With a club foot.
Nobody.
Nobody would have did. No, that. And
don't forget Tony. Don't forget Tony. Okay, go ahead.
And with Dante saying he is part of the ecclesia, he's saying that he's a pastor.
Yep.
So he's carrying himself as a pastor. And a pastor, well, I'm not saying a pastor can't carry a pop-out, because, some may need that protection. However, in this situation, it wasn't warranted because there was uniformed officers
at the venue.
At the venue.
Mm-hmm. And then you caught him in a lie. He said he was security. And when you caught him, he said, "No, I wasn't security. I just was there."
And he said he was filming the whole thing. So if you were filming the whole thing, how were you doing security? He lied.
He lied. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, I know a little bit about the security bit because I used to do security, and remember during the Katrina incident, the president authorized for the Gulf Coast Task Force to be put into place. I was actually a part of that for law enforcement. So
under General Andre, right?
Right.
Yes.
And so I was there. I was a part of that whole contingent. And I'm here to tell you that I had to, although I had federal credentials and I had to also get credentialed in Alabama and Mississippi and Florida.
Right, because there's no reciprocity in those states, so you have to.
And Louisiana.
Correct.
So I had to get all of those, and that was on the federal level, and the state level. So if they were posing as security, there has to be a record.
Yes.
And fingerprints on file with the state of Alabama.
Absolutely. Let me add another person up to the scene. I can see straight through you. I got to see a picture before I add you up. It won't be on the screen, but okay. There you go. Thank you.
Tony, can I say one thing?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Nikki.
Because I got to dip out in a minute. Was there a description, a diagram of any kind in the police report showing the position of the body under the bed?
No.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Absolutely not. And it should have been in that report.
Okay, that was my question, because that's very detrimental to know as to how she sustained the injuries that she had to her midsection.
Yes. And I'm gonna get on that right now. That you mentioned that for these last 30 minutes that we have. So in the police report, and first of all, before I do that, let's welcome. I can see straight through you, 888 to the show. Welcome,
hey everyone.
I can see straight through you. Give us what name you want us to call you? That's a long name to say.
I can see.
I see
I'm
you
gonna
as
call you. I
fine.
can see.
Okay, I can see you. Okay.
Yes, that's fine. Hi everyone. I'm just dropping in because there's another comment on Angie Stone's autopsy report that I found kind of weird, and I thought that it was just another slap in her face talking about her looks again. So there's a portion in the body habitus section, I believe that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And it says that the body is that of a well-developed, well-nourished female, received clothes, and then they say, and appears older than the reported age of 63.
Okay.
I thought that was a slap in her face because all her life, when she was in the music industry, they had been doing things to her based on her looks. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Why are you saying this lady who's beautiful for 63? Why are you saying she appears older than that? That didn't make sense to me.
So let's deal with that for a second, because that was a lie.
Oh.
I was going to talk about that tomorrow.
Okay.
Let me tell you something, but you brought it out, so we're going to deal with it right now. That report said just what you said. Yeah. And here's the thing. It did not say that she was her health conditions that she was suffering. So she could not been well developed with those issues of being on dialysis. She had dialysis just before that morning.
Yeah.
They didn't say anything. Now she may not have had a PIC line, and most people call it a port. So,
my brother was on dialysis, by the way. So when I tell you, he was my personal Superman. My brother was on his last entry.
I have a family member in the home on dialysis right now as we're speaking. Yeah. She does not have a PIC. She does not have a PIC line. She gets the intravenous put in every time. And then they do it. So she didn't have a PIC, which stays in the arm at all, because most of
sometimes
them don't
they can get clogged. I said sometimes they can get clogged.
Right, and they can get clogged and cause a problem. So they would have to shoot an excess amount of saline in the line in order to clear it before they can start the process. Okay.
Right.
So, I'm sorry. It's a fistula, not a PIC. I'm not in the medical field, so please forgive me.
That's okay, no problem.
True Leah just corrected me, so thank you.
But that. I know what you were referring to, because sometimes my brother had to get off of the machine early because his line started, acting up, and I would go and pick him up sometimes if he needed, an early ride. So
Yes. Now, True Leah, you're a nurse for 23 years. Would you mind coming up, True Leah? Let me put this link in for you. Please, I definitely would like for you to come up.
I'm going to dip out.
Okay.
See ya, Auntie Nikki.
See you later.
So we put the link up there for you, True Leah, to come up, if you don't mind, please. And then we'll wrap up the show with True Leah.
And Tony, I do have family that is down in South Carolina in the like the Beaufort County area. So I
know Beaufort.
Yeah, well, I'm familiar with these different areas of South Carolina, and I just found that it was funny also that Pillsbury is supposedly, I can't remember who exactly said that Pillsbury is from the same small town as Leethel Carter, apparently, or supposedly. And she was on the same highway heading, in a direction that he was going. And at the same time in the morning, that is so weird. And going to the state where Angie Stone is from. So it's too many. I don't believe it coincidence. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Okay, you're from Beaufort. You're from Beaufort County. So let's talk about that for a second. Okay, so people understand. Okay, Beaufort County. And let's welcome Trulia to the show. Welcome to the show, Trulia.
Hey, Julia.
Hi, can
Okay.
you all hear me?
Now
Yes.
give me a second to say this here, and then we gonna talk to you here. Okay. So now,
Can I go off of my camera? I'm at work.
yeah, you can go off your camera. You don't have to.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So here's the thing. You have Conway,
Yes.
small city. You have technically Myrtle Beach is a small city.
Yes.
Aner, small city.
Mm-hmm.
Aner had, matter of fact, Aner is the same size as that city place they're from, because Aner only has about 5 stoplights in Aner, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just before Beaufort County, and then you have Andrews. Andrews, how many stoplights do they have in Andrews?
I have never been there actually, so I'm not sure. But
Okay,
you got some small places, yeah.
okay, so North Myrtle Beach is another small city. I mean,
Mhm.
it's widely known worldwide because of the golfing, but
Right. And
but
Black Bikers Weekend.
Black
from
Bikers
Myrtle
Week.
Beach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Matter of fact, that's this weekend, or was it last week?
I haven't kept up with it, so I don't know which weekend. I
Yeah,
thought it
I
was.
lost, I lost track of it too.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So anyway, Trulia, thank you
Hi,
for joining the show.
thank you for having me. How can
Okay.
I help
Can-
answer any
yeah.
questions?
Yeah, can you get closer to your mic by any chance?
Let me try to put in my other. Is this any better?
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Okay.
So you being a medical professional, are you what are you, RN or LPN?
I'm an LPN for 22
Okay.
years. I work
Okay.
with the skilled facility patients right now.
Okay. So with a person that doesn't have I forgot what line that is, you said. I call it a pick, but you
Okay,
uh
so usually when dialysis is initiated, they put in a port, and that port is in the chest. The PICC lines that we typically use are inserted into the interior part of the arm, the upper arm, and that's what we use for long-term IV antibiotics and things like that that have to be given over long term.
okay.
Um, After the port has been used, they go in and put in a fistula,
Hmm.
and that fistula is in the arm as well. It's inside the muscle, usually in the forearm part of the arm.
Okay. All
And I
right.
noticed that that wasn't on there either.
That's correct. Which leads me to the next question I have. So my family member, they just get the IV, the IV put in every time they do the dialysis. It
Okay.
stuck in the arm. So I'm assuming that that's the same. That's the same thing that Angie was doing. And also,
Accessing the fistula, maybe.
yes, yes,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because the dialysis machine is here at the house, and so everything is done here. They don't go out.
Okay.
So I'm familiar with that process because I see it every other day, and I'm like, okay. So that being said, how possible is it that a coroner report cannot mention the issues that someone that is actively on dialysis with the conditions of their kidney, and they don't mention anything about that? Well, how is that possible?
Mhm.
Exactly. I don't think that coroner's report was thorough at all. I think that some information has probably intentionally been left out. I don't understand why they didn't put in her degree of kidney failure and things like that. What you would look to for a dialysis patient was never even mentioned. It's very skewed.
Okay, so here's another thing. Would that be a reason to help defraud the insurance company by not listing those things? Because it would give rise that maybe there would have been another issue that caused death rather than accident?
That's a possibility, especially if she was noted with any type of injury to her kidneys. Now, I noted that they looked at her kidneys, and I believe, did it, now correct me if I'm wrong, did it say that they were smaller than they should have been?
They didn't mention it at all.
Okay, maybe this was on a different show. I saw something, or someone said something about her kidneys were not marked correctly as far as the size, but that's not even really relevant. What I was curious about as to why they didn't note that she was on dialysis. They didn't note which stage of kidney failure that she was actively in, because I understand she was waiting for a kidney transplant.
She was.
Okay, so I would think that that would be more towards end stage kidney failure, and I didn't see any of that either. I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, I didn't either, and so that was an issue that I had with the report. Now,
Right.
I'm looking at some other possibilities that if there's in fact a cover up, which I'm starting to believe somewhere in my heart that there is one, would that cover up have been to allow insurance to be double or triple indemnified?
For accidental death,
Yes.
I can't say that it wouldn't. I'm kind of
Because,
leaning on the same side that you're on with that. It's a possibility. Absolutely.
but the only thing that they didn't know was that there was no coverage.
So she didn't even have accidental death coverage.
No.
Ooh. Mm. Yeah, I think that the whole entire corner sport is a medical mystery.
So
I
what
don't
are
know
they?
why. Why
So
would the
what is?
cover?
So
Go
what is
ahead.
it? So now, Matt, the question is, what is it that they're really covering up? Because something is being covered up here.
I agree.
I agree as well. Something is being covered up. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. And something is afoot here, and someone's are very upset that you all are digging into this. They are so used to our demographic, our population of people hearing about our celebrities passing away, and we're sad, like, oh, did you hear about this person? And then you talk about it for some days, maybe even a few weeks, and then you're back to sleep again. But now, Angie served as a catalyst. I mean, it was bad, trust me, where the whole Michael Jackson thing and other stars, Prince and whatnot. And now Angie seems to have served as some form of a catalyst to make people really say, what in the heck is going on over there in this Hollywood sector, this Hollywood world that people want to get into? They want to leave their homes, their families, and go into this foreign world of what they think is glitz and glamour. And then when they get over there, these are not the first people I've heard that have been. Angie talked about how she was being made the scapegoat to make it seem as though she was the person who was influencing D'Angelo with drugs and alcohol and whatnot. This is not the first time. I know people who sing, and they have had friends who have gone over to Hollywood and come back totally different people, looking
Yeah.
like bums
Yeah.
because of what they've gotten into over there.
Yeah. Bougie Lofi 33 says, that's why Leethel and Shanna are in a reckoning. You can fool a few people at a time, but you can't fool the world. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Totally agree.
So now, are we back at the factor to where maybe somebody large in the background is lurking and pulling strings for things to be represented a certain type of way just for the sake of collecting money?
I would
Because
not doubt it. That's the first thing I thought of.
now it's starting to look like that again. Here we go, right back to the source again. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so tomorrow I'm going to pick up right there because it seems like this cabal has moved to a whole nother level. Not
Yes.
saying that it is, but we're going to have the discussion because it may possibly be.
Yeah.
So
And
we're
it's
going to,
another slap again, like I said, in Angie's face. They were bothering her about her looks. She's a beautiful Black sister, lovely person, you know? But when
yeah,
they can't get you to do what they want you to do the way they want you to do it, you know, the ad hominem attacks are what they go on, you know? Or
yeah.
she's fat, or, you know how many plump sisters were out there, like she said, singing back in the day. We didn't care about their weight.
But here's the
About their
thing.
looks.
But here's the thing. Angie was not plump that day.
Right, when she first, yeah, exactly. And
Angie
then,
was looking fine. Let me tell you
yeah,
something. Let me tell you, Angie was hot that day. Let me tell you. Let me drop it like it's forever hot and to forever be told. Angie was sexy looking on that stage that night.
yes.
She had on that eloquent black outfit. She was looking good. Her lipstick was popping. Her hair was popping. You couldn't tell Angie Stone nothing because she was only 160 pounds.
Right,
Wow, she was
right.
she was fine.
So I'm like, wow, they slapping this lady in her face even after she passes away now. I like to see those buzzards, whoever, you know, type this into her autopsy report. I would love to see them at 63 without their makeup on if it were a woman, you know.
Exactly.
I'd love to see them at 63, and then you tell me, okay, she looks older. What do you look like at 63?
Exactly. She exemplified beauty.
Yes.
And that's just what it was. And but anyway, we're gonna pick this conversation up tomorrow, and tomorrow we're gonna get more in depth of, is it now that somebody in the music industry is putting out money to cover up the real truth of Angie Stone's autopsy report? That's what we really need to know coming up at this point. I thank you so very much. I can see
It's a
straight through
valid
you
question.
coming in.
It's a valid question.
Yeah, it's a very valid question, and we want to put some emphasis on that tomorrow, and we want to talk about it. We really want to talk about it. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you, and look forward to having you back again. Okay.
Thank you so much, Tony. I appreciate everything that you do, and all the other people who are digging into this. I love everything that they're putting out. Maybe I don't agree with their, you know, methods, but I don't have to agree with everyone. If you're bringing forth truth, or you're bringing forth some information that makes us think, critically think, not just, you know, wake up for a session and then you're back to sleep. I think this is very important. So you all just keep going. That's what I can say.
Yeah. Thank you so very much, and I appreciate that.
Yes. All
Thank
right.
you.
So I'm going to drop back down. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'd like to say thank you so very much to our listening audience and our viewing audience. This is Corey Storm FM. I'm yours truly, Tony Smooth Jam. And I want to say thank you so very much for being part of this broadcast today. Without you, we can't be what we are, and we're trying to do whatever it is that we can do to help. I think that now there is a bigger cover-up than we could ever see. I think that someone wants that false report out there because it pays more money. This is much bigger than we think. And look like the catalyst between Leethel Carter, Dante Daly is going to soon come. Somebody's going to turn on them, and somebody's going to turn on them soon. We're going to keep striking until someone does. It's diabolical work that the state of Alabama could release such a report and the condition that they did and think that people are going to accept that and move on. I don't think that they expected us to come back at them and say, no. UAB's 20% of their income comes from autopsies. 20% of their income. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. So why not for these states to not produce the correct information and the right charges on individuals? Because apparently, of some sort, there may be a major cover-up that we just haven't touched yet. This week, we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to do our best to bring all of that to light. Because if they're covering up something, we're going to know by Friday. And we're going to put all the information out there in black and white to back it up. UAB, you have a bad reputation. UAB, you're being sued for millions right now from the family of an inmate for removing their body parts. UAB, you have a coroner that may not have presented the correct information. We don't know, but we want to find out. And we will find out. We won't stop. Angie, we're here and we're marching in lockstep. So until tomorrow, this same time and this same YouTube channel and the same radio station, Quiet Storm FM. Don't forget, you can listen to us on iHeart, Quiet Storm FM. You can visit our website at www.quietstormfm.org. And if you're not a member of the Quiet Storm website, please, by all means, when you go on, the site, click the membership. And you'll see that there's a plethora of things for you to do, people to meet, people to talk to inside the Quiet Storm family. We don't know what this is going to bring, but it's definitely going to bring information that the world needs to know. And we're not going to give up on Angie whatsoever. Not the least bit. So I leave you today with a prayer. We pray for justice. We pray for honesty. We pray that absolutely anything divulged, hidden, come forth in a manner of strong vigor, in a manner of strong truth, because Angie deserved that. Until tomorrow, may you have a wonderful and blessed evening. Bye-bye.
Soft rain on the window, city lights glowing low. Turn the dial to KCC and let the melodies flow. A deep bass hum whispers in the air. Every note a memory, every rhythm a prayer. We ride the quiet storm through midnight skies, where the soul still speaks and love never dies. KC sends heartbeat, a groove so tight. In the echoes of the night, we take flight from the legends who paved the way to new voices lighting the day. It's a symphony of dreams, a sound so divine. On the waves of Honolulu, the spirit aligns. Let the horns cry out, let the keys drift slow. Lost in the music where emotions grow. Every shade of blue, every touch of gold. A soundtrack of stories never growing old. So let it play, let it heal, let it move. This is Quiet Storm FM, locked in the groove. Soul runs deep, hearts intertwine. On KCC and HD3, the stars still shine. From the legends who paved the way to new voices lighting the day. It's a symphony of dreams, a sound so divine. On the waves of Honolulu, we take flight. From the legends who paved the way to new voices lighting the day. It's a symphony of dreams, a sound so divine. On the waves of Honolulu, those break flight. Let the horns cry out, let the keys drift slow. Lost in the music where emotions grow. Every shade of blue, every touch of gold. A soundtrack of stories never growing old. So let it play, let it heal, let it move. This is Quiet Storm FM, locked in the groove. Soul runs deep, hearts intertwined. On KCC and HD3, the stars still shine.
R&B, soul, and neo-soul singer, songwriter and producer who's rich, velvety voice to find an era of smooth, heartfelt music, born on December 18, 1961, in Columbia, South Carolina. She first gained recognition in the late 1879 as a member of the Sequence, one of the first all-female rap groups. She later transitioned into R&B, making waves with albums like Black Diamond, 19, and Mahogany Soul, 2001, which featured classics like No More Rain and Brother. Her music blended soulful grooves, deep storytelling, and a gospel-rooted sound, earning her multiple Grammy nominations and lasting influence in the industry. Beyond her music, Stone was also an actress and songwriting, collaborating with icons like D'Angelo, Alicia Keys, and Lenny Kravitz. Her contributions to neo-soul left an undeniable mark, influencing generations of artists. Quiet Storm FM, Quiet Storm FM.